Everyone, happy Stitch Mania. This is Dina, and I am going to be vlogging my Stitch Mania progress. So, I'm going to do a Whip Mania, and today I'm starting my first one, Ashley's Roses. I already have it in my Q-Snap, ready to go. If you'll recall from my Mania video, I'm going to be working on this swag of flowers up here. I have this piece in my schedule for 2 days. So at the end of those 2 days, I'll come back and show you what I was able to accomplish. And then I'll give you the starting point on my next whip. My goal is to get through 10 whips in 18 days. So we'll see how well I do. I'm looking forward to going on your journeys with you. I hope that you're capturing what you're doing in whatever method that you like. I'll be vlogging every couple of days to show you my progress. And that's not much different than I normally do. It'll just be a lot more of it. Anyway, I hope you have a great Stitch Mania. We're off to a great start. And I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Bye. Hello everyone, this is Dina. Welcome back to my channel. This is Stitch Mania, and today is my day to check in and give you the progress I have made on my first whip. The first whip, if you recall, was Ashley's Roses. And I was going to try and finish that swag of flowers across the top. Well, I'm happy to say I did. I finished not only the swag across the top, but I also got the last flowers here and here. So guess what? The entire top all the way across is finished. Now, the only thing left to do in there are a few beads. So I wasn't quite finished yet. I had a little more stitching time. So I came on down and I started working on that beautiful dress. I went ahead and started on that sash. So I am just thrilled to say that I not only hit my goal, I surpassed my goal. And now I've gotten another big start on another big part of this picture, which is her dress. I'm very excited to be there. I still will have some beads that will come out trailing behind her hair and possibly a few stitches as well. But to tell you the truth, I wanted a change up of color. I had been using so much of the orange, peachy colors in this, and just decided I wanted something a little different. So rather than move down and start on her bouquet, I already had a few stitches in her sash, so I went ahead and just added to it. I wasn't sure how much longer I'd get to stitch last night anyway, so I wanted to just share that with you. There's Ashley's Roses and my progress that I've made on her today. This has been great fun. If I can get that much done on each of my pieces for the next 18 days, or well, now it'll be 16 days, I'll make some great progress. So I'm excited about that. I promised to show you again what would be next. So the next one is Nantucket Rose. So here's where I'm starting from. And in a couple of days, I hope to come back and give you an update that shows some good progress. I hope you guys are enjoying your Stitch Mania. I know that I am. And I've had a lot of good stitching time. And I still have had time with my family. My son and I went to lunch and to a movie on his day off and just had a great time together. We hadn't done that in a long time, and I enjoyed that immensely. And I'm also going to include somewhere in this footage, maybe at the end, some video that my husband sent me. He is hiking the Appalachian Trail. He's doing a section at a time. So he is up in Tennessee, and he will hike all the way into Virginia this time. and he was kind enough to send me a video. It was a little small clip of a beautiful waterfall or springs that he's going by, and he sent me a picture of his campsite. So I may add a few pictures that he sends while I'm doing my first week of Maynia and he's doing his week on the AT trail. So you can kind of see what we're both doing. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy it, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Bye. Hello everyone, this is Dina and it is May 4th. So that means that I finished working on my second work in progress for my Maynia this year, and that was Nantucket Rose. This just reminds you of what she's going to look like when she's finished. And I don't know how many of you saw it, but yesterday on Facebook, one of my friends, Joanne Jones, finished her Nantucket Rose. We started this as a sale together August 1st of 2017, and she has just been quietly stitching away, and put a picture of her finish yesterday on Facebook in several of the Facebook groups, and it was just beautiful. Just beautiful, Joanne. It's perfection. Every stitch looks perfect. I don't think there was a single piece of thread that looked wonky. It was gorgeous. It was inspirational. So congratulations on your finish. I'm so happy to have seen it. And I thought it was so cool to see that yesterday when I was working on my Nantucket Rose. Well, I'm not anywhere near being finished with it yet, but I will show you where I got to. If I have a picture of where I started, I'll insert it here. I did show it on my last video to, show where I was going to start on everything. But I had basically gotten a part of her shirt done. I did her face and head and had kind of done part of her shirt. So this is where I got to in the last 2 days. So, my goal that I had set for myself, even though I didn't say it out loud to you guys, was to finish her blouse. And I am so thrilled to say that I did. That little piece right there is part of the basket, and I haven't started working on it yet. But I did finish that beautiful pink blouse. Very happy with that. So I hit my goal, and I had time to keep going. So I did. I just went on across because that's where the stitching starts going across. There's all that space in there under that tree, but this is where the waters are there. And I'm assuming this is around a lake. I haven't read the back of the pattern to see if it says anything about where she is, but I'm thinking it's a lake because of all the lush greenery around it. Most beaches I've been to, unless it's in a tropical place, don't have that many trees. So I'm thinking this is a lake shore, but I got all the water done, and I started on the shoreline, and I worked all the way over to here. And I really wanted to go all the way to the end of the piece because I only have about 2 more squares. If I could have put some of that green in there, I would have. But I got toward this end here, and I put one of my stitches in 1 thread too low, and I stitched a couple of little columns of these stitches up and down here and realized it because I looked at my grid and it looked funny. I told you gridding really helps you see your errors. Well, it popped right out, and so I had to frog back 2 or 3 rows to get that bottom stitch, and then I had to put them back in. So I did go all the way back to where I discovered my mistake, but I felt like once I start having to frog, I'm fatigued, and that's when I quit stitching. I take a break. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it for now, for this Maynia at this piece. But I'm really tickled because I hit my goal, and then I went all the way across to here, and so that's all just gravy right there. That's exciting for me. So I'm very pleased with this progress, and I hope I'll be able to keep stitching at this rate to where I hit my little goals on each of these pieces, because you know me, I have set small goals for myself. I'll try to remember to tell you what they are. However, my stitching time has been unlimited the last 4 days because my spouse has been hiking on the AT trail. He's been doing a section of it in Tennessee, and when he ends up at the end of this week, he should be in Virginia. So I've had all my evenings to myself, and I could just stitch as late as I wanted without, bothering anyone else. And so I've done that, and I've got a lot of progress on my first 2 Maynia whips. So this weekend, that may change drastically. So I may have to be very careful in setting goals that might be attainable with a lot less time. However, I will share with you, my husband has been so kind to send me some little video and pictures of the beautiful trail that he is experiencing. And I'm going to add some of those in at the end of this segment so you can kind of see what he's been doing while I've been stitching. Now, after that, you'll see my my next piece. So let me go ahead and tell you what that's going to be. My next whip for Maynia is Into the Autumn Sky. So I want to show you where I'll be starting from tomorrow when I get up and get started. If you'll remember, this is where we left off, where we've got her feet and skirt, the beginning of her swing, and her little apron or pinafore, whatever that is in the back there. If y'all know what that is, let me know. Probably just part of her dress. So my small goals for this time are going to be to put the tassel that goes right here. That's very confetti heavy, but I want to get that little tassel done so that that strip across there is complete. And then I would like to start working on her jacket. So the jacket, I would love to be able to get a good portion of her jacket done. I don't know that I'll be able to get the entire jacket because I don't know how much stitching I'm gonna, be afforded, how much time I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna do the tassel first because that's my top priority. And then I'll go back to her middle and I'll start working on that brown jacket and see how much of it I can get as I work my way back up. If you'll recall, there are some streamers that are coming down from the bottom. You'll see that right under her skirt. And there's leaves and beads and stuff that are around the bottom. I'm going to wait and do that sort of toward the end. I'm going to try to get this center picture done first. So the jacket is what I'm going to be working on. And I'm hoping to get some good progress on it. I hope I have enough time to do that. This is a piece I started on September 22nd, 2017. It is on a 28 count blue Lugana. I don't know where I got it. I may have gotten it in Pigeon Forge, but I've had it for a very long time because it has masking tape on it, which I have not done for years, and the tape is even yellowed. This is probably the oldest piece of fabric I had in my stash, and I'm really delighted that I'm able to use it on this piece and not have it just wasting away there. So that's my plans for tomorrow. I hope you're having a fabulous Maynia. I hope it's going very well for you. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Happy stitching, everyone. Hello, everyone again. This is Dina. Today is May 6th, and I have finished my work on my third whip for Maynia. This is the Into the Autumn Sky It's a Mirabilia. As we have discussed before, it is out of print, but I will be gifting this. I will be passing that stash as soon as I finish it. So I was really pleased to get some work done on it during Maynia. And here is where I am after working on it for a couple of days. So I more than met my goal. I'm very tickled about that. You can see I got the little tassel there that was on the end of her apron or whatever that is called. I can't think of what that is. I don't know. I was able to finish the jacket, and then I still felt like stitching a little bit later tonight, so I went on and did her hands, holding on to the swing ropes, and went all the way up those ropes to the trees and actually hit the top of the piece and worked my way all the way across to the corner. So that is the first corner of the top. So I am thrilled. Got so much done. I hit that spot that was sort of smooth sailing. There were color changes in the swing ropes, but not confetti. You know, there were several stitches there, some long stretches of the same color there in those ropes. And then you can see there are little blocks of color in the leaves that are more than 1 or 2 stitches. Some of them get a little more confetti-ish there, but anyway, the jacket surprised me. It was large sections of color, and so that was pretty easy. I just worked in those swirls that create the folds of the jacket, and I'm just really pleased with how it's looking. I know it looks a little odd because she's headless. I'm sorry about that, but it just flowed from the arms of that jacket to the hands to the, to the ropes on up. And then when I next work on this, I will start with her scarf. It is a very intricate, very confetti heavy scarf. If you can see that here. I'm not sure you can. Let me see if I can get it close enough. But it is different colors. It's almost like a little plaid, and it has a lot of back stitching in it. I haven't done any of the back stitching yet because there's not a ton of it. There's some trim on the dress and jacket. There's back stitching around her face and hands. And then there's a little back stitching. Most of it's in that scarf. So here's where we are into the autumn sky. Great progress today and yesterday. Really felt good about the progress that I've made. So delighted that I hit my goal. I thought that was a pretty good goal to try to get that whole jacket done in 2 days. And as it turned out, the jacket was much smoother going than I expected. So I hope you're finding those pleasant surprises with your Stitch Mania as well. I will be working, starting in the morning, on my Glendon Place piece, Flowers of the Holy Night. This just reminds you of what it looks like. And this is where I will be starting from. I recently worked a little bit on this in a rotation and actually made it over to the side. That is the top corner. So now I can go on the other side and work my way across, or I can simply go down and try to get this down all the way to that section, to the bottom of where I'm at on the middle, and then go over to the other side. The difference is this comes in pages, and the pages that I have already photocopied for my working copy and taped together are on this side. So I may stay over there for just the couple of days that I get to work on it. But these silks are fun to work with, And this tends to go fairly quickly, so I am hoping that I get a lot of work on it in the next couple of days. So that's where we go from there. Today is the 6th, and this was the third. I finished my third whip. This will be my fourth of my 10 that I want to work on. So as soon as I hit number 5, I will probably go ahead and end the video and put it up for you so you can see the first half of my Maynia. I'm loving seeing you guys that are taking the challenge of putting something up every day. I just don't know how you do it, but I'm loving watching it. So that's been very fun. I am also glad to tell you that it is getting fairly close now to our New York trip. My husband and I are going to New York City, not for the New Jersey Floss Tube Retreat, which I wish we were, but we are going with our choir back from where we moved from, and we're going to be singing in a concert at Carnegie Hall. We'll be part of a backup choir for Sandy Patty for a concert, and I'm excited about that. We're going to get to go to a couple of Broadway shows. We've got tickets for Lion King and for Wicked. So I can't wait to go and get back and tell you a little bit about the trip. But I will tell you a small story about my husband's hiking trip. I've got pictures that I'm going to put at the end of this video that kind of tell you about the trip, show you the beautiful scenery that he was able to hike through there in Tennessee and into Virginia. But the majority of his trip was in Tennessee, and he went through a section in the national park there where they've had a lot of bear activity. Bear, as in the wild animal bear, B-E-A-R, not people streaking. Anyway, they had signs posted for the hikers letting them know that they could hike through the area, but they could not camp in the area because the bears were too active. And apparently they have shelters along the trail for you. They're just small lean-to type things for you to get out of the weather. But someone 2 years ago apparently had started feeding the bears out of their shelter so that they could get them to come in close and get wonderful pictures. But what that did is it taught the bears that that was where they were to be fed, and that was free food. And then anytime there were hikers trying to sleep in the shelter, the bears would come and want food. And of course that scares everybody to death because you don't know, what they're going to do. So they closed the shelter, and it's been closed for 2 years, and they tried reopening it recently, and the bears showed up immediately as soon as there were hikers in there. So those bears have not forgotten that that's where they got food and that the people bring the food. So it just brought to mind, these beautiful creatures, very dangerous creatures, but very beautiful creatures, are there all the time. You just don't see them. My husband's never seen a bear in all the years he's been hiking. We've seen them from the car as we're driving through, and we see a bear running through the woods, but we've never seen one really close up. So he hiked through that section of the trail that had the signs posted that you can't hike here. You can't camp here. You must keep hiking. And he got through that section and saw the signs that indicated that you were safe now to start pitching your camp. And he kept going just a little bit further and got up on a beautiful hilltop and put up his tent. And he slept there for the night. So the next morning, he saw a young man that he had seen several times on the trail. They were kind of hiking near each other. They'd see each other, pass each other, you say hello and talk for a minute, and you keep going because people hike at different speeds and that sort of thing. So he and this young man had been leapfrogging each other for a couple of days now, and he saw him again, and the guy was hiking out off the trail to go into town. And my husband said, "Oh, are you, stopping for supplies or something?" And the young man said, "Well, I have to. The bears got my food last night." And my husband said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I have a bear bag. You have a special cylinder or container that you put all your food in, and you hang it from a tree. You go out very far on a limb, and you hang your food away from you. And he said that that night, the night that my husband had been camped up on this hilltop, he said he heard noise around his tent, and he looked out, and there were two black bears going through his camp, sniffing around his tent, and they found his tree with his food in it. They climbed the tree, they got out on the limb, and they broke the limb off to get the food. He heard the limb and the container hit the ground, and then they took the container off. Now they'll tear it open and they'll get all of his food, but they took every bit of food he had. He had nothing. So he had to hike that day with no food to get to a point where he could exit the trail and meet up with his father, who he had called and was going to bring him food and take him to eat somewhere, and then I guess get him supplied to get back on the trail. And he thought he had done everything he needed to do, to prevent that. So my husband asked him, he said, well, where did you camp last night? And the young man said, 2/10 of a mile just down from you. So that tells me these bears were only 2/10 of a mile from where my husband was camped. It could have been him, that they stole the food from. It made me a little nervous. I don't usually get nervous about him hiking because he's so careful, and he uses really good sense about it. He doesn't take chances. But in this case, he had gone a little extra further away from the bear area. And I don't know whether they would have kept coming till they found him if that young man had not been, between him and the bears. I'm just really grateful that nobody got hurt, that they didn't, go after the young man. But if any of you like to hike or camp, just let this be a reminder, a little public service announcement. Please don't put any food in your tent. Don't have a candy bar in case you get hungry. There are a lot of things we do without thinking sometimes. And but that is one of the reasons why you don't eat in your tent and you don't take food in your tent. You eat away from your tent and you put your food away from where you sleep. So just a little hiking lesson, I guess. But it did make me a little nervous, and I was really glad he didn't tell me that till he got home, because I probably wouldn't have slept very well, another night with him on the trail. But he did make it home safe and sound, and he was tickled because he hiked 75 miles that week and got all the way into the state of Virginia on the Appalachian Trail. So the next time he takes a hike on the Appalachian Trail to further his distance, he will have to drive to Virginia to get started. Probably won't be till next year now because of the weather getting warmer. But anyway, that's what he enjoys, is the way I enjoy stitching. He enjoys this hiking and camping. And so I just share a little of that family news with you because it was a little bit of an interesting story to me, how close he came to actually seeing bears while he was hiking. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoy your Stitch Mania and don't have any close calls of any kind. May only the bears you see be in your stitching. So you guys enjoy, and I'll be back to see you soon. Bye. Hello again, everyone. Today is May 8th, and this is the whip that I've been working on for the last couple of days. And when I started, you just saw a few minutes ago, or a few seconds for you, when I started working on it, I had 2 leaves here done, this poinsettia done, and this green right around the corner here. So now I have completed this poinsettia, another leaf over here, and I think that's it. But I did this entire poinsettia in the last 2 days, and I'm really tickled with that progress. So let me show you how it's looking now. Here's where I'm at. I can show you all the beautiful designs in the poinsettias. And then, of course, I did this green leaf and that green leaf as well. So very, very pleased with that progress. So this is the middle of the design, and now I've come all the way to the border on this side. And so now I can work my way down and work some more on that poinsettia in the middle and keep going to the bottom of that page. And then I can come over here and get to the other side. So this is working out very well. I worked a lot on this. In the last 2 days, I stitched 12 hours. So that is a lot. I was fortunate I had the time to do that. But I won't have that much time in the next day. I'm not sure I'll be making such great progress in the next couple of days, but we'll see. But I'm very pleased with this, and I have no deadline about when I want to finish this. This is just a piece I'm working on. It may be a piece I work on, all year. But I really like it, and it's turning out quite pretty, I think. I will tell you, you'll notice there's a lot of blank space in between these poinsettias. Well, there are things in here, as you can see, here and here and here. Those are all beads. All beads. And the middles of the flowers, they're beads. So there's a lot of beading that will take place in this piece once the stitching is complete. But that's where we are with Flowers of the Holy Night, and I'm really enjoying it. And this I am doing in the called for silks, and I will tell you, I'm having to use smaller strands because they fray. If you pull them through the fabric more and more and more, the more you pull them through, the more they fray, and they'll break on you. Or at least that's what I'm finding. Anyway, so I've had to shorten my lengths that I like to use, and because it's all variegated, I'm trying to make sure that where I cut it, where I stop, that's the end I use to start next. So the variegation goes more with how it is actually in the thread. So I get a lot of variegation instead of a repeat, of the same piece. Anyway, so that's going away tonight. And tomorrow I will be starting on my Nativity. And this is the one that I only gave 1 day so that I could fit in all of my whips. So I will only have 1 day on this one. But you won't see the result on this video as far as where I've gotten to because I am going to stop the video here and I'm going to upload it for you because it's half of my whips. So I figured now would be a good time to give you a progress report. I'm enjoying watching so many of you that are showing it every day. That is great fun. I just couldn't commit to that kind of a time frame to upload mine, but here's where I'll be starting from. And unfortunately, as you can see, if I were to be going straight down the page, the next thing I would do would be Mary, and she's that 1/1 skin. So I'm thinking I probably won't start there. If I do, I might do her headdress and her cloak and then go around and start working more on the tail of the wings on each side. But I'm going to avoid doing that 1/1 skin since I only have 1 day. I'm not even sure I'd finish the face. So I'm going to work on other things around it just so I can get some progress on this one. So there you have it. This is Teresa Wentzler's The Nativity. I'll be starting on that tomorrow. So I will talk to you soon. That'll be it for this video update. And if you are interested in seeing the beautiful hiking footage that my husband has graciously shared with me, then stay tuned and I'll put some of that here at the end. Happy stitching, everyone. I hope you're having a fabulous mania. I know I am. I'll see you soon. Bye.